So last night, Sophie Cunningham actually responded to, the Kiki area fan takedown.
The entire gym fell silent the moment Mystics rookie Kiki Iran forcefully shoved Sophie Cunningham, turning what was supposed to be a routine preseason WNBA game into something that looked more like WrestleMania. The crowd held its breath, if only for a moment, because Cunningham isn't one to let disrespect slide. She sprang to her feet and marched straight toward Kiki, unleashing a fiery retort that likely had the broadcast team scrambling for the censor button. Tensions escalated quickly as Diana Taurasi and Lexi Hull rushed in to defend their teammate. But while the on-court drama was intense, it was Sophie's post-game response that truly set social media ablaze. A clapback so sharp and clever, it felt like a MIC drop from space.
I'm looking forward to when is the first game? May the 29th or May the 28th. I am looking forward to that. But Sophie Cunningham responded right here with an Instagram story about it. And these two teams do not like each other. They do not like each other.
But let's rewind for a moment and break down how it all began. 3. Yes, you heard that right. A rookie actually body-slammed a veteran to the hardwood like she was trying out for the NFL, not stepping onto a WNBA court. And not just any veteran, Sophie freaking Cunningham. A battle-tested pro with serious don't-mess-with-me energy. Kiki Iran, the Mystics' fresh-out-of-college rookie, apparently thought a preseason matchup was the perfect stage for her WWE debut. The shove wasn't defense. It wasn't a tough screen. It wasn't even a calculated foul. It was blatant, unnecessary, and flat-out disrespectful, a move that screamed, "I want attention." Sophie Cunningham had just one response: be careful what you wish for. Now, are you ready to hear how Sophie broke her silence? If you're riding with Sophie and the entire Fever squad, drop a fired up for the Fever in the comments below. Let's go.
What are we doing? Right there, you can see Sophie telling her after that flagrant, "You don't mother effing do that. You don't mother effing do that."
Sophie's response was swift and justified. She sprang to her feet and got in Kiki's face like she was defending the very integrity of the WNBA. "You don't bleeping do that," she snapped, capturing the unspoken sentiment of every veteran watching from home. That wasn't just adrenaline talking. That was pride. Earned dignity. You don't throw a vet to the floor like that unless you're gunning for a fast track to public enemy number 1. And just when it couldn't get worse, Kiki smiled. Not an oops my bad kind of smile. This was a smirk. The smug grin of someone embracing their villain arc, thinking instigating equals respect. Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
That's Kiki Arafin, and I gotta tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is. A ton of reaction. The smiles afterward, let's get next.
But the Mystics weren't done targeting Cunningham. Later in the game, Brittany Sykes delivered yet another unnecessary shove, sending Cunningham crashing to the floor for a second time. There was nothing subtle about it. This wasn't basketball. It was bullying, plain and simple. At that point, a clear pattern was emerging. Washington players were zeroing in on Cunningham, and everyone watching could see it.
Another one right here. This was Brittany Sykes, and DeWanna Bonner got involved in this one. She did. Little standing on business.
Then came the cavalry. DeWanna Bonner didn't hesitate. She headed straight for Brittany Sykes, making it crystal clear the Mystics weren't going to get away with it quietly. It was like a team-wide alarm had gone off. One of their own had been hit, and now it was all hands on deck. That's what real teams do. You mess with one Fever player, you take on the entire hive.
All I will say is it's going to be a fun couple of games. The Fever, when is the first time they play the Mystics? This is what you want to see. You want to see hype.
Rewatch the footage, and it's undeniable. This wasn't anywhere near a basketball move. Kiki didn't box out under the rim. She grabbed Sophie and slammed her to the floor. Full stop. It was a play with zero connection to the game itself, a move that shouted one thing loud and clear: "I want a headline." Well, she got one, just not the kind she was hoping for.
It's going to lead to a heated rivalry game. It's going to be leading to that on the 28th of May. We are still in the month of May. We get to watch these two teams go at it again. And I stand by this. This was absolutely not This is not going to be the first time or the last time Sophie Cunningham is going to get into some sort of a brawl next season.
As expected, social media lit up like Times Square. Fans weren't having it. From casual viewers to diehard WNBA loyalists, the reaction was swift and unified. The Mystics had crossed a line. What's supposed to be a game of finesse, precision, and mutual respect had suddenly taken on street fight energy, and people noticed. The consensus was clear. That wasn't a power move, it was a cheap shot. And while coach Stephanie White did her best to downplay the incident during the post-game press conference, Sophie's expression said it all, no words needed.
This was the response. I'm just a girl, but I only play WWE with my sister, so chill. And obviously while posting a clip of that.
But here's where things turned legendary. Sophie didn't spiral into drama or call for a league review. She chose a far more iconic route. She took to Instagram and dropped what might be the most casually savage response of the year. No long caption, no emotional rant, just one icy line. I'm just a girl, and I only play WWE with my sister. Effortless. Instant classic. The subtext was crystal clear. Don't flatter yourself. You're not the villain. You're the warm-up act.
Or random thrown to the ground. Maybe I need to hit the weight room. That was not a good look. But she had my back, and I think that's what it's all about, right? I think that we have a huge target on our backs, and I don't think that's a secret. And so making sure that our locker room's like this, and that will naturally flow onto the court. And I think you guys saw that.
That's how you shut someone down without breaking a sweat. Sophie used humor like a scalpel. While Kiki tried to flex, Sophie calmly reminded her, and the entire league, who the real veterans are. That line didn't just dismiss the incident. It buried it under a mountain of nonchalance. Cunningham didn't flinch. She didn't fume. She hit back with a smirk and the kind of confidence you earn with years of experience. And speaking of confidence, did we mention Sophie earned her black belt in Taekwondo at just 6 years old?
Earned a black belt in Taekwondo at 6 years old. You can earn a black belt at 6 years old? I mean, fair enough. Fair enough, but yeah, Sophie Cunningham is... I would say Sophie Cunningham is not someone you'll mess with. Everyone messes with Sophie Cunningham.
While most of us were struggling to tie our shoes, Sophie was already mastering precision strikes and controlled strength. So, Kiki didn't just pick a fight. She picked a fight with a martial artist in sneakers.
Times like there are like 5-minute long compilations of Sophie Cunningham starting fights. Like, do we not remember what Sophie Cunningham did last year to Indiana? They literally, I'm not joking when I say this, she walked into an Indiana huddle, threw a blind elbow and walked out and got away with it.
Which, by the way, made Sophie's chill caption 10 times more cold-blooded. It wasn't just a flex, it was a quiet, hidden warning. She was basically saying, I could have handled this another way, but you're not even worth the energy. And honestly, that's far more intimidating than any shove could ever be. Cunningham's post turned a chaotic moment into a masterclass in composure. She made herself look completely unbothered while simultaneously making Kiki look exactly like what she was, a rookie trying way too hard to go viral.
Sophie Cunningham just ends up being the villain of the fever. I think she's the damn villain for the entire WNBA, the old WNBA fan base with some of the stuff they said about her. I think she's probably thinking, you know what, let's get the heat off our number 22. When these other teams last year, when they were trying to punk Caitlin, you know what, let's piss off these players enough that instead of them trying to go off Caitlin, get her off her game, they go for me. And that's one of the things with Sophie Cunningham, with those type of players, that people don't realize just how important that they are, and just how big they can be for it.
Sophie's message hit the sweet spot. Witty, sharp, and completely neutralizing the heat Kiki thought she generated. The best part? It earned her respect across the board. Fans applauded her poise. Players nodded in solidarity. And in the Fever's locker room, they rallied around their teammate like never before. In a league that thrives on storylines, this one's officially locked in. The next Fever versus Mystics game? Go ahead and circle that on your calendar now, because this isn't just a rivalry anymore, it's personal. And Sophie Cunningham just proved she's not only ready for it, she's already winning.
See again in the response, like, she's posting the video. If she didn't want to smoke, she would not be posting anything. She would have just ignored it. And you better believe when these two teams play on the 28th of May, it's going to be heated and it's going to be an awful lot of fun.
The real flex in this whole showdown wasn't who got shoved or who yelled louder. It was how Sophie Cunningham handled the aftermath. Instead of throwing hands or rushing to the refs for sympathy, she clapped back with something far more lethal: calm, cutting humor. She essentially said, "I see you, I'm not scared of you, and I'll remember this forever." It was the veteran version of a MIC drop, only better, because it was delivered with class and zero emotional leakage. Translation: message received, key.
The more people are trying to fight Sophie Cunningham, the better Sophie Cunningham is going to play. And you can tell with everything on social media, like, people are saying almost she was more Rodman, like, instigator, than she is like enforcer. That's fine. That's absolutely